Bob Selig is on the other end of our AT&T line. Speaking of the airline business, it's often very complicated and not as simple as it seems. He's the president and CEO of the Capital Region International Airport. Welcome back to the program, sir.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
How do you not take it personally when Sun Country Airlines decides that we're going to put our resources somewhere else? That had to hurt.
Well, it doesn't. You can't take it personally because that's just not your job. That's not my job. We're supposed to be providing services that meet the needs of the Tri-County region at least, and in some cases even farther out than that. And so what we're constantly doing is evaluating what that means. What do the passengers actually want? And in this case, Sun Country did fill a void that being the state capital, everybody thought that, we got a lot of business community feedback, a lot of governmental feedback that there just really was a need for nonstop service to Washington, D.C. We verified that with our with our analysis and everything. So we sold it. We sold the program to Sun Country. They ran it for 4 years, and they gave it a good try. But, they're just the bottom line is we've got to put enough passengers on there to at least make that flight break even. And what we were told is that financially it wasn't even breaking even. So, it makes sense that, they certainly can find other places in the United States to put that airplane to where it'll be profitable. And we're just thankful they held in there with us as long as they did.
According to the Lansing State Journal story, there's a study that shows 67% of Eaton, Ingham, and Clinton County passengers fly out of other Michigan airports.
That's correct.
That's staggering. Yep. And why is that?
Well, there's a whole host of reasons that people give for using another airport. They talk about concerns about flight schedule reliability, that the last flight of the day cancels from Detroit, and they talk about high airfares. And the studies we looked at all of those type of issues, but we just cannot verify that those are issues that should be driving that extent of diversion, if you will. For instance, we looked at a 12-month period, and Delta Airlines only canceled one flight after 8 o'clock at night. So that last flight of the day canceling all the time is I understand it's a perception and perceptions are real, but the facts don't support it. The same way with the airfare side of it, our average airfare is very similar to all the other airports across the state, including Detroit. So, there may be a $50 difference here and there, but by and large, we're all the airports, major commercial airports in the state, are running about an average airfare about, if I recall, around $200. So we're constantly back in a state of reevaluation. And trying to figure out what do we tell the airlines on what the community will support, and as far as developing more air service. What we tell people, though, is we think the issue is that people are not adding up the total cost of their flight, the total cost of the drive, connecting to flights out of Detroit principally, and they're just not checking the airfares. Some of them are just going out of Detroit, and they don't even check the Lansing airfares. And a lot of times the Lansing airfares are less. So those are two recommendations that we have with the community going forward, is always check Lansing first to make sure that you're getting the best deal. And secondly, if you're going to fly to Detroit, make sure you add up the total cost of the trip, the gas, the parking, and everything that goes into your trip, to make sure that you're truly getting the best deal.
I know that your parking is less expensive for sure, and right on site there. That's one of the easiest things about it. It's not covered, mind you, but for in the wintertime, but nevertheless, that's a win for sure.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Some places, like Detroit, their covered parking is $23 a day. We're at $10 a day. So, so anyway.
This article also says that the study indicated on the current financial path, Lansing Airport could see elimination of most or all of its services in the next 5 to 10 years. Is that true?
Right. Well, that's very possible for airports the size of Lansing and others. You know, there's a whole host of industry issues that we're dealing with. The elimination of the 50 passenger jets in the industry, and then Congress passed the infamous rule to increase the required training for pilots from 250 hours to 1,500 hours. All that's done is created a pilot shortage, and so you're ending up with the airlines have much less in the way of resources, both in airplanes and flight crews, to provide the communities. So the competition for airplanes and flight crews is increasing dramatically, and even the airlines are saying that there's a good chance that out of the 450 commercial airports in the nation, at least 100 of them are going to lose air service altogether. So what we're saying is we don't want Lansing to be one of those. Mm-hmm. But the industry situation that I just described, combined with our propensity to use somebody else's airport, is really sending a bad message to the airlines. It's saying that they don't want to, that the community doesn't care if they use Lansing or not. I don't think that's the intent, but you got to look at it through the airline's eyes, and so I think we're in a threatened situation. Yes.